The black stone fortresses are alien structures that were found afloat in deep space. Espern Locarno, an agent of a navigator household, was dispatched with the hope that certain materials could be reclaimed from the mazes of this eldritch abyss.
Hello, my happy little leafs. Grim, dark, and heavy metal are the two prevailing styles for Warhammer 40,000. And I was struck by an awe moment when somebody posted their Espern Locarno done in a greasy, shiny rubber of a David Lynch costume department. It was glorious. It was wonderful. I sat down to reproduce it and practice oil washes and glazing, and my focus wandered. But that's okay, because now we've got this pile of notes and pile of real-time footage that we're going to digest into some sort of retrospective to try and wring some nuggets of transferable wisdom out of this experience and into the medium of YouTube for the benefit or enjoyment of anyone watching this video. I primed with black, I did a zenithal highlight with gray, and then I did underbrushing with glacier blue. This is sort of my safety blanket. This was my safety blanket. This remained my safety blanket. This was my safety blanket like way the hell back when I did this. So I've been doing it for a while. And yeah, the model looks good just like this. It's ready to go. It's got this what Marco Frazzoni calls a value sketch going on. Areas like this seam show why preparation work is important. There were some imperfections in the helm that I now can't find on review of this footage. Model's great. It's stuck here to a paperclip coming out of a base. In the year since doing this, I've moved on to using polystyrene rods with a known diameter such that I can then punch a hole in the base of that diameter and peg them in. But this guy's fine. This is great. This is good. It's primed and ready. With the requisite underbrushing done, it was time to plan how I want to do this. MidWinter Mini's glazed and rotten approach continues to delight and fascinate me. Although in this case, I would rather borrow LeadPlague's coloration and combine it with thePhilthyPhish's Lynchian look. I was hoping that I could mix and match from both of these, producing something that scratched my itch to emulate each style. So to do this, I attacked the project as a case of glazing and oil washes, a result I'm very pleased with. The red is the most interesting and important part of this plan, and as such, I decided to screw it up first. I used a glaze of Vallejo Game Color Heavy Red and Vallejo Glaze Medium to cover the helmet in a ketchup stain layer. On my palette, you can see that the paint turned into a runny soup. Now, I don't like tomato soup, so ketchup soup paint sounds better. Beef goulash soup with the spices and the tomatoes and the chunks of veg and stuff, well, that'd be bad for painting as well. The glaze gave a very thin and even coverage of the underbrushed areas. Overall, I wanted a mini that looks like that, and this gives me a mini that looks like that. So because I've got permission, let's have another look at the Lynchian one. Alright, I think I've said Lynchian and shown this picture as many times as I can get away with. So the other big feature of this piece is how that cloak was done. So I'm going to do my cloak with heavy skin tone and then tweak it a little bit later. But before I do that, I'm going to do a heavy violet glaze for the robes, a heavy blue glaze for the gloves and boots, and whoa, yeah, I like this. This model now looks fabulous and fine, and I'm not worried about the color scheme and everything's fine. Following this, I applied heavy charcoal to the inside of the cloak. However, at a later stage, I forgot that I'd done this and covered it up with black. With that, I went to bed, and when I woke up, we got... Look at it! Look at it and its marvelous magnificence, even at this state of incompleteness. Look at it in the light of day. So that is the base coat. That is the base coat of the model. And I followed this up with a step of cold gray that we're ignoring because I removed it almost immediately after doing it. And then a completely useless oil wash. No, it wasn't completely useless. The oil wash, I think, was more effort than it was worth, given how I don't believe it significantly impacted the final model. Which might just be down to the structure of the model. I don't know. Leave a comment telling me why I should or shouldn't have oil washed this model. Amusingly, the oil washes took a very small amount of the actual oil paint. Maybe that's not amusing to you. It amused me. All right! Bronze, 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 bronze. Gold is too shiny, and it's not like we're going to do any more washes. So I used bronze over all the protruding bits of metal and the detail raised filigree on the armor that is delightful. And I got the paint on such a small surface by sort of scratching. It takes longer and the paint dries out and I have to re-moisten and reapply. But it's the way I've got of attacking the issue with some control. With more control. I did really want a drab cloak, but this cloak is looking a bit terrible. Horrible. So I'm using this elderflesh dry paint just to dry brush the cloak. The protruding areas of the cloak. Okay, during this dry brushing, I think you can see some more color variation that is entirely down to the oil wash, so maybe it was a good idea. I still don't think that I leaned into it to the extent that I could have. My latest and eternal favorite version of how to get out of doing metallics is to make a glaze out of a gray and glaze medium. Make a really thin glaze. Make almost a contrast glaze, except it dries matte, which looks better for me. Very strange. What worked great was doing this with charcoal gray. But wait, there's more! In the form that I came back with black wash and black shade and black ink to fill in those little cracks and crevices in the metallics and other areas that needed to be darker. This is quick and simple and self-explanatory. And now, the final step. Electric blue. Just here and there over little tiny details that I want to stick out, I guess. So, yeah. All we gotta do is now base this like any other Blackstone base, which you've already seen 100 times by the official one, haven't you? You've watched the official Blackstone bases video, haven't you? So that's it. A gloomy little weirdo on some strange mission, ready to explore the unknown. If you've enjoyed this video, we have various social media things that linked in the descriptions. We operate a regular podcast, so of course, if any details of this impressed you, or you feel could do with a full 3 or 5 minute explanation, point them out in the comments. Anyway, I hope that was educational, informative, or motivating.